And a very hello to you. This is the Aquarian, hosted by Liam Jarrett. It is good that we are here. The name of this artist is Discovery Zone. Fall apart. Music, we make a part of the Aquarian, all the arts. We seek to highlight that which is beautiful, good. In this world where we see a lot of the bad. And my friends, behind me we have the astrological chart of the moment. And it is one that is electric. It is shattering down routines, timeline shifts, karmic crashes. Because why crash? Because we have the earth involved. Taurus, our value systems, food. Having the god of war, Mars. Uranus, the god of the heavens, and the earth. Well, when those two meet up, it's going to shake. Shake it on, baby, now. Shake it on, baby. So be able to be flexible, mutable. But at the same time, because the fixed signs are Scorpio, where the south node is, opposite the north node, that which we want to release. Release what? These attachments, these unhealthy addictions, these obsessive behaviors, these compulsive behaviors, these routines. As the moon is in Virgo, as we start off this week, highlighting our routines. Uranus making a beautiful sextile. A trine to the moon as we speak, but a sextile to Venus in Cancer. There's our saving grace in this tossed about ship, is getting our choosing to feel good. No matter what's going on around you, that can be challenging. But as we try to master ourselves, master our minds, that will help us in the balancing of our emotions. Not neglecting them and burying them. Traumatic things, we face them. We accept them. We accept that which we can change, that which we can't. We forgive ourselves. We try to forgive others. This is how we're balancing our ship so that we can sail forward and onward. Aquarian soldier. Souljaah. Astrology is not necessary to be believed in, to participate in the Aquarian type stuff. Astronomically, we're positioned in the transition from Pisces to Aquarius on the grand cycle, which spends 2,160 years, give or take, in each of the 12 signs. So 2,160 times 12 is one grand cycle, comparative to a year with this 12 months. The day with his 12 hours and the night with hers. I'm not going to convince anybody of astrology, but what I will show forth and what is unique to me is what I'm bringing to the Aquarian is pointing out how lots of our religious myths and allegories are just that, and mostly of the stars, astral myth. And as we talk about stars, we're talking about how our own metaphysiological makeup, those laws applying as above, so below. So we're trying to create, manifest the best ideas we come up with in our heavens, our head. This gets done by knowing this, the knowledge, the gnosis, and then we could better traverse it. But once again, we could just meet on the ground of getting out of the literalism of these biblical stories that have caused and continue to cause much harm. A supremic behavior of thinking one is somehow specially chosen over another. It dehumanizes the other. Or this in-group is saved and another isn't. This gets out of that. Especially when we take a historically critical approach to such religious texts as the Bible. It takes away the historicity of it. Now, lots of people go into a little bit, it can be depressing. It's earth-shattering for many to realize that these characters like Abraham and Moses and Joseph are not historical people. That used to be a fringe part of the theological academic community that believed that. Now that's the main current thought in mainstream academia, is that these characters of the old Hebrew scriptures, the Old Testament, are not historical. Lots of them are other gods turned into biblical characters, such as Esther being Ishtar, and then Malachi or Mordecai being Marduk. So when we, because there's this trend to call, you're taking this from a pagan religion, we need to get out of that. It is supremic as thinking that the Abrahamic faith is somehow better than anybody else's tradition. But it was successful in conquering the world mainly through the arm of Christianity and Islam. So we go to the source and we bring out the good, the cream. And lots of it is not unique to this tradition. It's syncretic with others, such as the Greeks, who got lots from the Chaldean, the Babylonians, the Mesopotamians, the Tibetans, the Egyptians. And in all these teachings, there's a syncretic teaching. And it's hidden, it's esoteric, it's kept for those in the in crowd. And it seems as if a good portion of them use it for dark ends, through dark means. What the Aquarian is doing is using these esoteric tools, this secret hidden knowledge, to first expose the literal translation to not be true or historical or factual. So we could get out of this idea of God that the Bible has presented to us, which is not a healthy version of a God to have. And that is hurtful to many people because we've grown up, as did I. Was trained to be a Catholic priest, worked in Catholic churches, director of religious education, faith formation, sacramental preparation. I was knee deep, eye deep in it. Now there's some beautiful things that we could bring out of it. Beautiful music and art and community and encouraging people towards a life of virtue, meaning, a purposeful life. We could come up with those things without bringing the unhealthy stuff along. Fear of death, fear of God, the whole sacrificing of an animal or a person for the forgiveness of sins, the scapegoat ritual, the hierarchical system. When we find out, as you will, as many might not be prepared to be, and I know this might lose me lots of followers, but it needs to be said and it needs to be realized, is that just like Abraham and Moses and Joseph, the character Jesus, John the Baptist, the 12 apostles, Mary Magdalene, are not historical. Mostly of the sun, the planets, and the 12 constellations that make up the disk of our 12 disciples. The 12 posts in the sky that our planets and sun and moon travels in. The 12 apostles. The 12 labors of Hercules, Samson. 12 columns of Hercules or Samson. Hercules the labors. Buddha, 12 disciples. 12 months in the year. 12 grades from until 12th grade is when you graduate. We really need to be careful who we share this with, because if somebody's not mature enough emotionally, if they're in a bad place, depressed, or if they're just old and getting ready to cross over, however we choose to look at that, I might use discernment in who you share this with, because it could lead people to sad things. But the truth, and I don't claim to be the sole bearer of truth, but I do have experience with studying religion and theology, history, astral myth, the use of propaganda, real history, not what we've been sold in our school books and in our religious texts. They've been used to enslave us, mostly. The Bible hates the Gentile world, that God of the Bible. And then what, the Christian was somehow grafted in as an afterthought? This God who already wiped out humanity after he created it in his image? We need to look at these things as expressing perhaps some wisdom, but we also need to take out the parts and leave them behind that are genocidal, maniacal. Just as we look at the gods of Greece, Zeus, and the Romans, Jupiter, Sumeria, Enlil, Egypt, Amen-Ra, as archetypes, over high ideals, representations, energetic forces, cosmic laws, that world of ideas versus the world of form. We at the Aquarian look to be fully all-inclusive by reaching over the borders that religions create through literal interpretations of their texts. I particularly happen to be dealing with Abrahamism, which spawned Christianity and Islam. So when we figure out that there's no Jesus of Nazareth, which is Mazzaroth, which is the 12 zodiac signs, without a historical place, Nazareth. That one was just too easy. Jerusalem. Salem, the way. Yeru, Hiru, Heru, Horus of Egypt, the way of the sun. Lots of it is solar myth. Not unique to the Hebrew tradition. We see this as we uncover more archaeological evidence. What the advent of the internet and sharing information has done is given us the opportunity to get this information and hopefully get it out. I just want to fix my... We can see the heavens today. It's earth-shattering stuff. That news right there, if people can accept it, it really alters our traditions. The Hierophant card is Taurus in the Tarot, where all this stuff is going down. Uranus breaking it down, North Node karmically, for a higher purpose, hopefully. The higher heavens is Uranus, the king of the heavens. And then Mars showing up, that's giving action to it, giving energy to that combustible energy in Earth. A shattering experience. Shattered Earth. What we thought we could count on. Our food supply. Now, in about each moon cycle, 28.5 days, 14 days from the new moon to the full moon. When the full moon happens in 11 days from now, it's going to be in Aquarius, the masses, the people, conjunct Saturn retrograde. When Saturn's in retrograde, that means the great disciplinary, the opposer, the adversary, Satan, Sabaoth, Saturn, who we celebrate the Sabbath on Saturn Day. Take a sabbatical, take a break, because when you revere that planet, that God, the most, you're going to want to dedicate the whole day to not doing any work, because it'll have the energy of oppression as against it. That just shows how astrology makes up our holidays, makes up our reasons for these religious practices. And now because the sun, who venerates the sun, which opposes Saturn, controlled opposition, solar Hebrew cult is created. An amalgamation of the other pagan ones around it, especially from Egypt, Horus. Horus on the horizon. So, since there is no Jesus, there is no legitimacy to papal primacy, to papal succession, because the Pope in Rome, who's the Bishop of Rome, the first among equals, which doesn't make sense, is Peter, is holding the office of Saint Peter, who received the breath of Jesus upon him. Breath, air, one of the four elements. We'll see that the four elements come into play. Earth, water, fire, and air. Big themes in these religious texts because they are instrumental and crucial to the cosmological system of astrology, along with sacred geometry and numerology. I want to read this quote about astrology in relationship to religion. Astrology demonstrates to us very concretely that life is a whole lot less random to us. Let's start again because I looked up to make eye contact and then I went back down and went to the wrong place. Pull up from the top. Astrology demonstrates to us very concretely that life is a whole lot less random than it often appears to be. That we are connected in a visceral, practical, easy to see way to the larger cosmos. It restores that sense of engagement with an enchanted, meaningful universe, and unlike much religion, astrology does that without asking us to surrender our reason or our critical functions. From the book Astrology, Tashkin, the Library of Esoterica. Esoterica, the hidden inner meanings of these things. Astrology being one of those big parts of those sacred sciences. Music is one. They say that the heavens, the planets are putting on a celestial, that's the celestial choir. Each planet on a different vibration frequency, each energy, each one of the 7 visible heavenly luminaries meeting up to our 7 visible body points of energy. The chakras. The 7 churches, the 7 days of the week, the septenniary. Well, Aquarius is ruled by Saturn, who is in the 7th heaven. And it's the 7th ion or age. The New Age movement, for some, is the Messianic age. And in order for that to happen, a great rumbling and like a woman in labor pangs and disease and famine and plague has to take over. So these things become self-fulfilling prophecies that some people have to return to some land and that God gave them. And it just so happens, who were God's chosen people? The people who wrote the text. Oh my goodness. What a revelation. I didn't see that one coming. Let me calm down. My sacred bell. We're going to go in to this week firmly standing on the truth of our inherent goodness and act in such accordance. We are going to choose freaking feeling good. We're going to pick up a life that is more in tune with our purpose here courageously. Harkening back to the Leo season that we find ourselves in, encouraging us to be courageous, giving us a new spark of light in our heart area with this new moon in Leo we just had last Thursday. And so that's it. And then in 14 days, 2 weeks from that new moon we just had 3 days ago, there's taking it out to the masses in Aquarius. Aquarius is the masses, the big gatherings. This black jacket is a tuxedo jacket, but that's a little extra. And then you just tag it. You can fold it under and bam, it almost looks like a regular jacket. This is a Celtic knot. I encourage us to go back to our ancestral religions and traditions and to revive those. Don't bring the bloodlusty, we're Odin's chosen people and you're not. Let's not do that. That's no better. That's no better. To be a religious supremic or a racial supremic. Well, I'm attacking religious supremacy along with racial supremacy, which many people are scared to do. I am being courageous. I encourage you to do that too with me. Join me in this mission to get people to wake up to the real meanings of these things. Knight of Wands. That is that go energy. I need to raise money for a better camera that has autofocus on it. And I want another. These bells you get. Like, I want singing bowls. That wasn't a good one. Hold on. Helps us to get centered on that vibration. The middle way, harmony, is what we're seeking here. That's what we want to do with perhaps emotional trauma, not bury it, and then it festers and it comes out in an unhealthy way. South Node Scorpionic type stuff. But this is a good time to reach down there into the root of it and yank it out courageously, boldly, but also Venus in Cancer, lovingly. It's the beautifying of the beast. We could use these past rejections, hurts, as a source to do just the opposite. To heal ourselves along with others in whom we contact with, perhaps just with a smile in this world that is pushing us into upside down smile world. It's very, very academically profound. But first and foremost, with Aquarian, just fun. Coming together to have fun. Coming together being a big part of it. Not just on a computer screen talking into a camera, but meaningful in-person gatherings where we do sacred ceremonies that replace these immoral, dark magic, scapegoat, blood atonement magic rituals. We bring a blessing of love and peace. And may these waters bring us to life more abundant. May the light of the brightest star in the night sky, Sirius, shine her light down into this water, bringing out its magical, divine, sacred properties to be praised as we are nourished with waters from the heavens as we pass over from Pisces into Aquarius. Let it be done beautifully, as in heaven, so on earth, so it is. I encourage you to make up your own stuff. Using whatever. I recommend the elements. Water, earth, and fire. We're cleaning out any bad energy that we brought with us that might be keeping us from moving forward to the best of our ability, the healthiest, the wholest. We take care. We are thankful for our senses without getting lost in them. We do not give into just a purely materialistic realm. We bring meaning and purpose and magic and a re-enchantment to it that this empty materialism has stripped away. And once again, existentialism, phenomenology, which is not a rejection of the material, not that this world is fallen, not that you're born in sin, conceived in sin. All that effery needs to get blotted out. Why is the hero font being taken down? Because there's no such thing as papal succession. Bam. There's Uranus with Mars in the North Node. Actualizing. Digging up what? Scorpionic stuff that's been hidden behind dark curtains. A hidden, elite, black, dark hand. I hate to use the whole reference light versus dark thing, but just hang in there. You get what I'm saying. Scorpio is manipulative, it can be. Trying to hold on to this power, but I see these things are harmonious to break. It's like things are reaching a breaking point, I think, with lots of people. We see that throughout the world with the protests, especially about food shortage type stuff. Taurus. Farmers, Mars, and Taurus being upset. Want a revolution change, Uranus. We do have Mercury coming off in opposition of Saturn, so it's going to be able to be more courageous, taking the spotlight, the show, to be illumined, to go out as a messenger ahead of the sun now. So to free up our mind, so we could free up others' minds, so we could free our minds to a higher mind, Uranus, out of the monkey mind of Mercury, but then come down and use our minds wisely. New ways of doing commerce, mercurial type stuff. The merchant, Mercury. The messenger communicating. They're trying to shut it down because this Abrahamic, Christian, therefore Islamic, worldview crumbles when you find out the real meanings behind these things. And that doesn't mean that purpose and meaning and beauty and enchantment and spirituality and soulfulness have to crumble too, which is what they're constantly trying to do to us emotionally, traumatize us with their psychopathic, dark occult rituals, 9/11 being a big one. When you learn the esoteric, astrological, symbological teachings, you'll see them all over the place. Namely, what they want to do is separate us, divide us within ourselves, and especially from others, and then demoralize us and bring us down. That was the two towers, the twins. So, and then World Trade Tower 7 in the middle had to go down. That's Jacob's rungs on the ladder, the 7 visible heavenly luminaries, 7 chakras. And the 2 twins of Gemini, the 11th sign of Aquarius. They were trying to do a new age, blocking the Passover ritual, and then tearing down the ladder so that no one else could get back up the ladder. It's a Kabbalistic tree of life thing. Work your way to the top. Instead of going to the 10th Sephiro on top, or depends how you're going, you skip from 9 and go to 11. It's the 9/11 ritual. I learned these things when we ask for our consciousnesses to expand, when we're given more knowledge, information. That light goes and it reveals darkness, and that could get depressing. So that's why it's important that we come together in community to be there for each other, to nurture and to support each other, to get out of isolation, the separation that they put us in, to come together courageously, working through any feelings of social awkwardness for the goodness of others and ourselves, together as one. This is the Aquarian. I love you all so much. Thank you for being here with me. I didn't even pick one. Oh, I did. The Knight of Wands, encouraging us to go forward. I picked it up upside down, saying what's keeping us from going forward? A lack of courage seems like was brought up. But let us also do this lovingly, kindly. Sometimes you have to be courageous to be kind in situations. But there's also a time where we have to stand up when we are being stepped upon. Well, somehow they let us have the internet. They didn't expect all their secrets, these secret societies, gone wrong. Secrecy is antithetical to democracy. You can see why we are breaking this down. We're going to have Aquarian services in the Cathedral of Notre Dame in Paris. Tables on all college campuses. I encourage people to have a hippie vibe, not to look too culty. If you're on a Catholic campus, look Catholic. If you're on a Hindu, well, the Hindus in the East, sometimes they just turn the emperor into a god, and they use Buddhism and Hinduism to enforce that, just like they do with royalty, just like they do with priestly clericalism. So we're taking them off their pedestals, and we're giving the mitre and the staff and all their riches to the people. We're Robin Hood in this thing, but hopefully with love and truth and courage. All right, I'm gonna stop. I love y'all so much. Stayed up the whole time. Barely hanging up. I got some new digs. Out here. Leo season, baby. Show and tell time. Show and tell. We had our second meeting. It's great. I'm so excited. Oh, you know what? I did want to pick one oracle card. Pull up. Oh, let us reach with our will, our power, our intentions into the cosmic current and pull out a message. Divinely inspired. Giving our homage to the goddess who's been suppressed along with Earth for a message. Jump in. Andromedan energy. Adventure. Say yes to change. A shaking up of our routines for good. For better routines that'll put us on a better life path. Let us karmically freaking engineered. Signing out. Our next meeting is the 21st of August. I implore you to go.